Hello, YouTube. My name is Alan, and I'm wearing a shirt with a Christmas poo on it. This video won't come out until after Christmas, since I'm working ahead on a few videos during the holiday break. And for this particular video, we're going to be diving back into some demos from American heavy metal bands. Haven't been digging into the demos as much lately, but trying to get back into that. There's a lot of great music from bands that just never made it past the demo stage. And tonight we're going to check out three really good ones. I'll have to show some pictures off my phone since I do not collect demo tapes. I've got just a few here and there. But some of these have gotten the anthology treatment on vinyl or CD in recent years. So don't worry, if you hear something you like, there's a chance that you might be able to find a copy of it without needing to buy a 40-year-old cassette tape off of eBay or Discogs. Because that can get expensive and comes with a pretty high risk factor. You never know what's going to happen when you press the play button on the tape deck. But without further ado, let's see. Up first is going to be a band from Florida called Oblivion. Now, I'm also recording a video today that features two other bands named Oblivion who both released 7-inch singles. And I kind of wanted to put all the Oblivions together, but I'm like, nah, I kind of want to do one singles video and one demo video. So I had to break up the Oblivions a little bit. If you look up this particular Oblivion on Metal Archives, just type Oblivion FL at the end, because this band has been a little more active in recent years and has just put FL at the end of their name because there's something like 36 different bands that have the name Oblivion listed on Metal Archives. So you can find this one relatively easy that way. But long before they needed to have an FL added to the end of their name, this band released a demo called Quest for Power back in 1986. Here's the picture of the J card as featured on Metal Archives. And we're going to, as always, check out some clips to see what these things sound like. Up first, we'll do a clip from the song Battle Warrior. All right, so yeah, that didn't take too long to get out of the gate, did it? Battle Warrior by Oblivion from Florida off the Quest for Power demo. Um, Really fantastic track. They operated in kind of the heavier end of the US power metal spectrum. Some nice riffing there. Like the singer's voice. He reminds me a lot of somebody, and I have not been able to quite put my finger on who. So if it's ringing any bells with one of the viewers out there, please leave a comment down below and be like, oh yeah, that guy sounds a lot like fill in that blank because I just haven't been able to pull it out of thin air yet. Let's check out one more clip from Oblivion's Quest for Power demo. This will be a clip from the song Maiden of the Dungeons. right. So yeah, you can hear a very strong kind of metal church vibe going on there. Also remind me a little bit of the band Hammer Witch. I think metal church is probably going to be the reference that will make the most sense to the most people. So yeah, checking out what we've got on Metal Archives here with Oblivion Quest for Power. As I said, it came out in 1986. And yeah, unfortunately, then not a whole lot else. They had a demo in '88 called Rebirth that I don't think I've ever come across. But they did get an album out in 2023 called The Executioner, which is one of the other songs from the Quest for Power demo. The Executioner album also features an updated version of Maiden of the Dungeon, so they were still using some of their older material. If you're interested in the demo stuff exclusively, though, they also did have something called Ultimate Anthology. This was released, let's get the details here, in 2023 as well, and came out on Cult Metal Classics. Definitely feels like the kind of thing Cult Metal Classics would go for. So, yeah, it is combining both the Rebirth and Quest for Power demos on it. So nice release. Might have to look and pick that one up myself. I missed that one when it came out, but yeah, cool to see that you can get the old Oblivion material from the demos on a more recent kind of release. All right, let's move on to band number two. This one, again, working off the phone, so you must bear with me because I don't really do editing on these. We'll just pull it up rather quickly. We're jumping over to Austin, Texas for a band called Assailant. I'll get the clip going while I pull up an image on Metal Archives. But Assailant will feature a vocalist that some folks into underground 80s US metal should recognize pretty quickly. The first track that we'll hear a clip from is called Insane Illusion. All right, so yeah, there's a bit of the first track from the Assailant demo. The song's called Insane Illusion. The few things to note here, then we'll check out another clip. The demo came out in '87, though I think it was also a version recorded in maybe in '86. There's a little weird history with this particular demo. And if anyone's trying to look it up, Assailant is spelled incorrectly because it's an 80s heavy metal band. So this is how you type it in if you're looking for this particular Assailant. Um, and the vocalist, if you missed it, is Mike Solis, who was in Militia, among other projects. This was something he started working on after he had left Militia. The demo, however, kind of comes in like two versions because Assailant originally had Jason McMaster doing vocals. Yes, that Jason McMaster, Watchtower, Dangerous Toys. This would have been during his Watchtower tenure. And so Jason was doing lead vocals, and they invited Mike to do backing vocals on the demo. But by the time things had kind of, shaken out, Mike had wrapped up with Militia, and Assailant was kind of became his next project. He was going to be the lead singer for them. And so the demo was essentially redone with Mike doing the vocals. So when you look them up on Metal Archives, it's a little weird at first because you see, the demo listed twice. It's like, did they really do two demos called The Damage Is Done in 1987? Well, it's the same three tracks on each one, but there's the version with Jason on lead vocals, and then there's the version with Mike on lead vocals. Let's check out one more clip here. This will be from the title track. The Damage Is Done. All right, there you go. Yeah, Mike never afraid to go for those high notes, very distinct high register in his singing in all his projects. Music's quite good. Again, they're working in maybe a slightly more technical style of US power metal. I want to say they lean a little bit maybe in the Hellstar direction. May have just been proximity as another, Texas band operating in a somewhat similar style. Maybe just Mike's similarities to James Rivera's vocals is making me a little biased there. But nevertheless, pretty good stuff on the Assailant demo. And this is another one that, if the songs appeal to you, you can check out through the anthology. This one came out on FHM Records and pretty simple design. Assailant, the damage is done. There's no unreleased material on here, which is kind of a bummer. However, it does have both versions of the demo, which is pretty cool, so that you can hear the versions with McMaster singing, and you can then also hear the versions with Solus singing. So, yeah, only three tracks on that one, but it is really cool that they tracked down and got permission to put both versions on the anthology. And that seems to be all that Assailant ever did. Kind of a shame. It seems like they definitely had the chops to put out something pretty cool had they stuck with it. All right, let's move on to demo band number three. This one is a band from Chicago. I always think they're from Cleveland for some reason, but they're not an Ohio band. They're a Chicago area band called Latent Fury, which is a pretty bitchin' name for a metal band. I like the band name quite a bit. Latent Fury did a demo in 1991, and we'll start the first clip while I pull up the images on Metal Archives for you. This first clip will be from a song called Messenger of Death. right, so there is Chicago's Latent Fury. Again, another band with pretty high vocals. I didn't plan it out that way, but yeah, all three of these bands, weren't afraid to go for a bit of the higher range. Latent Fury, like Assailant, going for a little more of the technical side of US power metal. But Latent Fury was trying to do this in 1991. And that had to be a really tough sell by that particular date. We often think of, the early and into the mid 90s as being sort of a wasteland for this style of heavy metal in the US. That's not to say there weren't a lot of bands trying to do it. Latent Fury is a good example of a band that was quite good and doing the style really well. It's just that nobody in the music buying public was paying any attention to this style, so record labels were paying no attention to this style. The bands were out there. It's not like everyone in America forgot heavy metal existed during the 1990s. You just couldn't really break through past the demo stage in a lot of cases. Let's check out one more clip, and then we'll talk about Latent Fury a little bit more. This will be a clip from The Visionary. All right, so as you can hear on that one, they're also not afraid to, mix it up some in the tracks and, have a little bit of something from the classier side of US power metal worked in as well. Not sure if I'd compare them to necessarily Queensryche. That feels like the easy default option. Something maybe like Lethal or Heir Apparent might be slightly more apt, but regardless, you get the idea. Really cool songwriting approach, good delivery. Unfortunately, they didn't get past that one demo. Kind of. Now, first off, Latent Fury, if you like those tracks, Arcane Steel, really cool label out of Greece that loves digging up these kind of unsung bands from the late 80s and early 90s, did put out the Latent Fury tracks on a split release, interestingly enough. But yeah, there's going to be a catch. So yeah, you can get the Latent Fury demo. It was the J card I showed with kind of the yellow color. This is the Arcane Steel anthology cover art. So yeah, that is out there. The split is done with a band called Ion Vein. And so most of the tracks on the anthology are Ion Vein material. I've never checked out Ion Vein, but the connection, why in the world do you pair Latent Fury with Ion Vein? Well, Latent Fury changed their name and moved forward as Ion Vein. And they had a bit more of a run of things, releasing, just a quick glance at their discography. They got, several albums out over the years. What are the years of release here? 99, 2003, and 2014. So even active as late as 10 years ago. Again, I don't know what the Ion Vein material sounds like. I've just never gotten around to checking it out. I should probably pick up this split from Arcane Steel because I really do like the Latent Fury demo and be interesting to see what the Ion Vein stuff is like. But yeah, so Latent Fury had a little more longevity than you might think if you just glanced at that first Metal Archives entry and saw a single demo and the anthology release. But big kudos to Arcane Steel for getting that demo material out. I am impressed with how many of these more obscure US demo bands have gotten attention from labels like Arcane Steel or FHN or Cult Metal Classics. It's really good to see this stuff made available for people in a format that's going to sound better, maybe add in a few more tracks if the band had some other stuff recorded. The releases aren't always very long. Sometimes the sound quality still isn't, it's not going to sound like 72 Seasons or anything, but it is nice to see these things available on something other than ancient cassette tapes that are slowly just rotting away to oblivion. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Hope folks heard some things that they enjoy. Now it's time to leave a comment down below. Tell me what you thought of these particular bands. If there's other notes, sometimes people see these videos who knew these bands or got to see them back in the day. Those stories are always great to read. Please share your knowledge of these bands with other folks in the community so that when they're scrolling through the comments, they can find some cool tidbits about these bands as well. But let's go ahead and shut things down. Until next time, everybody take care, and as always, keep banging your head.